Okay, so we've just arrived at the Waiweka forest, and we're going to be going up into these mountains over here. We've started off with quite a steep climb up some farmland, and then we'll be getting into the forest. We're guaranteed to see some deer, because the deer, they love to eat the farmland, and then they run back into the forest. So at nighttime they eat the grass. In the daytime they go back into the forest, so let's keep our eyes open. I'm really excited about this. As you can see, it's just pretty much just river bed walking through here. It's pretty much the best you can get, but it really does go on a little bit. But it's all right. I enjoy it. You know, I wouldn't be here if I didn't enjoy it. That's the way it is. You just have to be one with nature.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of a story to tell actually. I've just arrived at the hut, and I was down at the river bed, and I was having a sneak around, because I'm a bit of a sleuth. I'm a bit of a sneaky guy. Using my nose, actually, I've got a very good sense of smell, very good, and I smelt something. I smelt something at the bank. And I thought I'd better investigate because that's sort of what I do. And I went up the bank, and I'll be damned, there is the biggest deer I've ever seen. It had these bits up here, and I went up to it, and I snuck up to it because I'm very sneaky, and I snuck up to it, and I reached across the deer, and this is the sneaky bit. I reached across it, and it didn't even know, and I reached across it, and I tapped it on that side, on the other side of it, the other side from where I was, not my side, the other side. And the deer looks that way. And I was just like, I just tricked you. You are a stupid animal. I am smarter than you. And then the thing turns around and it looks at me and it sees me. It actually turns out it was smart. It was smart as well. We're both quite smart. And it turns around and looks at me. And I don't know why, but it got the fright of its life. And I was reaching for my camera in my pocket, and these bits got me, and it's dragging me along the riverbed. It drags me down the bank and along the riverbed. And I'm just like, oh my God. And the most amazing thing happened. I mean, it was terrifying, but fortunately there was about eight of these points on these things, and I was right at the very tip. So I was up in the air and I was flying around right up at the tip of this thing, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna die here. And this thing's dragging me along, and I'm thinking I'm gonna die, but at the same time I'm thinking, oh, I'd love to get my camera right now. This could be a great shot. But I'm thinking I'm gonna die, but what if I get, this is like $1 million shot, you know? But then I'm just like, what am I gonna die? And then, because it was the top point of these things, it snapped, and the deer just ran away, and I would have got a photo, and I gutted it, the whole thing, but it's just an amazing story. So now here I am, enjoying my hot chocolate with extra marshmallows, because that's what us hunters like to eat and drink, marshmallows and hot chocolate. So I'm glad I'm here to tell you the story, but the $1 million photo's lost, so it's just gonna have to be one of those things. It's just gonna have to be one of those things.
Okay, so it's the next morning and I'm just walking up the river valley and I've just spotted a hind just round the corner. Let's go have a look. Did you see that? A stag and a hind just sitting beside the river. I bent over and started kicking the grass, just being like, I'm chill. I'm just eating grass just like you. And they were like, nah. Out of here. Incredible. Now, as you can see, we're just moving away from the lower regions where you'll get a lot more trees and things, and we're moving into the area where you'll get more moss up in the tops. And what you'll find more of our friends, you know, the ones with the things. You'll find them more up once you get up here. So, yeah. I don't know why they go up here, because there's only moss to eat. And who likes eating moss? Okay. I get it. Yeah, hey, how's it going? Bet you never seen a stag talking before.
Well, I guess it's because we normally don't have too much to say, but I did have this crazy thing happen to me before. I just got to tell you about it. I was up on the banks enjoying a little bit of poo-ha, and this guy comes along. This guy, and well, yeah, I mean, I saw him. He was right there. He's this guy, ugly as hell, and I was just like, hey, yeah, there's the guy. And he's walking up to me, and he's walking real weird, like he's trying to be quiet. And I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay. And then he comes real close, and I felt this tap, and it was weird because it was on this side of me, and I knew he was on the other side, and then I was just like, he knows that I know that he would do that trick. He knows that I'm not dumb enough to fall for it, and then I was just like, no, he's smart enough to know that I'm gonna know that he's gonna do the trick. So obviously he's gonna be anyway. So I looked, and there was nobody there, and then I was just like, oh, this guy really is stupid. And then this guy, he's like starts fumbling around like he's looking for his camera. And I was like, oh, look, mate, if you want a photo, there's a couple of sitting ducks over there. If you want a photo, I'll give you a bloody memory. And I got my antlers and I picked him up and I ran like hell. And I was running. And then after I was dragging him for a while, I was just like, there's me mates. Yeah, my mate, Jimmy Hendrix and Chocolate Mousse. Yeah, Chocolate Mousse. And they were like, hey, we're having it, telepathically, we're having a stag party tonight. And I was just like, oh, a stag party? Yeah, cool. So now, we're at the stag party, we're up on the tops, and yeah, loving all this staggetti. Staggetti. Yeah, lovely. Good place to be. But yeah, it's quite nice up here. We've got a bit of sunshine, a bit of snow, and might just get a little bit rowdy. Yeah. Rowdy.
So, I arrived at the hut, and honestly, you wouldn't believe it. Before I even did anything, there were these three deer just stumbling around on the flats just beside the hut. Like, looks like they've been on the berries all bloody day. And I had to act quick, you know. So I pulled up my gun. And I aimed it, loaded it, and I don't know, like they seemed drunk, but they acted very quickly. They must have heard it because as soon as the bang went off, it moved, and well, I got him in the bum, like right in the bum, and anyway, not the best shot, but. Yeah, he ran off into the bushes, but yeah, no, I eventually got him. I'll show you what I got. We'll just go have a look. So as you can see, he's clearly a mammoth of a beast. He's got a great coat on him. I think he's a grey deer, and yeah. That's where I got him to there. And just looking at his teeth, looks like, oh God, he's got to be about 8 years old. He's a big fighter because he would have used to have the things, but he's clearly just fought until they're all gone. So yeah, he's a monster. He's a beast. Yeah. Look at those legs. Oh, you get like 50 steaks off those. 50 little steaks. Very proud of this. Very proud. So here I am, arrived at the next hut, and bugger me, there's a possum hunter here. So, okay, does seem a little bit crowded. I hope you haven't shot all the deer. And he says, oh, don't worry, there's ruminants for both of us. I said, okay, no worries, it's fine. So then I said to him, hey, do you like music? Because I've got a harmonica. Do you like music? Because I'll play you a song. And he says, yeah, but I like trap music. And I said, well, I don't know any trap music. What about show tunes? I know Seinfeld, I know Simpsons, and I know Full House. And he says, no, I don't like that. Okay then. What about a bit of boogie woogie? A bit of boogie woogie? Something old fashioned, I say to him. And he says, a boogie woogie? Okay, play some boogie woogie. And I said, okay then, I'll play some boogie woogie. He was very unimpressed. And then I said, well, do you want to hear some covers? Because I know quite a few covers. And he says, yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to hear some covers. And I said, okay. He was unimpressed, and I said, what's the problem? You don't like my covers? Is it because they're too boogie woogie? And he says, I don't like boogie woogie covers. In fact, if you don't shut up soon, I'm going to request some hits.